And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Tech20 Tuesday. It is Tuesday, February the 7th, and welcome to a session, or our first of 4 sessions on coding in K-5. So what we're going to do over the next couple of months, so every second week, so this week, and then in a couple of weeks' time, we'll take another look, is we're going to look at real specific coding platforms and activities you can do inside your K-5 classroom. We're trying to make this as simple as possible. This is stuff that teachers can do, but of course, you can always reach out to our digital learning team for some support and when you're first moving ahead with this. So let's jump right into it. So code.org. Code.org is a platform, web-based, can be used in either any kind of device, really. You can do it even on your phone, but primarily in schools, we're going to be using laptops or desktops and or iPads. And so it really works well in any kind of a digital environment. It is web-based, so students can do this really from anywhere, and it's easy to sign in and out of, and we're going to have a quick look at how to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to open up a browser. So in our browser, so code.org is going to look like this. So as a teacher, when I first open up code.org, this is what it's going to look like. And so I am going to just hit submit. It's going to ask you your language when you first come in here. And up here in the top right-hand corner, you can sign in. So the nice thing about code.org, it allows you easily and quickly to create classes for your students so that they can see everything that you're doing and easily sign in and out. So it's a very simple sign-in process for students. So I'm going to hit sign in and pretend I'm a teacher. So I'm coming in here for the very first time. And you notice here it says create an account. So when I hit create an account, it's now going to ask me to sign up. I wouldn't use any of these. I would just simply sign up with, you could use your Microsoft email or your teacher email through Microsoft, but I would set up a complete address. So come in here, put in your teacher username, teacher email, and a couple of passwords a couple of times. And then what it's going to ask you to do, it's going to ask you for a little bit of data on you, your school, those kinds of things. It's a very simple process. So once that is done, you can come in here, and I'm going to go into my account now and have a look at the back end from a teacher, because I think it's important that we have a look at that. So you create your account, and when you come in, after you see your account, I'm going to sign in, and I'm going to put my own teacher credentials in and have a look at the account from the back side. Now, you'll notice that it gives you a whole bunch of different options along the top. The first one is my dashboard. And so your dashboard shows you all the student classes that you've created. They call them sections, create a section, but really it is, you can think of it like a class. And so you can come in here, you can create it. You'll notice that there are different courses that are available, and these are all individual courses that you assign to your class. You can differentiate. So for instance, if you had some students who maybe weren't readers, you could put them in a pre-reader course while other students in your class were readers. So there's different levels. We'll have a look at the courses in a second. And it's really easy to create a section. I'll show you how in a second. So a course catalog shows us the different courses that are available. Now, code.org has everything from elementary school. Pre-readers are in here as well. So students don't need to be able to read to be able to actually do, and you can go right down to kindergarten or lower. And even some high school. So they have some AP courses and CS fundamentals. We're going to look specifically today. If you're interested in the high school stuff, you can go have a look at it. We're going to have a specific look today at the elementary school courses. And you'll notice here that they divide them up into several different courses that are available for elementary school. And they're also tacked back to your curriculum. So you can do that. So we're going to look and view the full curriculum, and you notice that there are 6 courses, course A, B, C, D, E, and F. And I think of them kind of like grade 1 kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, and that's how they have them labeled as well. So course A and course B are pre-reader. It means there's not a lot of reading for kids, or any reading really for kids to do. It's very intuitive. From course C, D, E, and F, they are the kids will have some basic reading to do, and it gets more progressively more challenging as it goes along. You'll notice here is a pre-reader express as well, and it kind of takes in, so if you have a group of kids and you just want to, instead of going through course A and course B, there's an express course that will take them and cover the content of both course A and course B. And the same with this express course. So it will do most of those. So if you're in grade 5 and your kids have had no exposure to coding, they haven't done any elementary coding, then you could do the express course. And really, they're all looking at the same thing. There's really sort of the 4 key fundamentals for coding that kids are going to be exposed to. So they're going to learn how to put things in order. They're going to learn about looping or repeats. They're going to learn about events and how those work. So there's some real fundamental pieces, and they're going to do that in any one of these courses. It's not going to matter which course that they're in. And you can see here that there are some express courses as well that bring, as I said, that bring them both together. So let's go in now. I wanted to show you how teachers can set up their class. I'm going to come back to My Dashboard, and I'm just going to set up a quick class for you really quick. So I come back and hit My Dashboard, and I'm signed in. You can see Mr. Whipple is my name. I hit create a section or a class, and I'm going to recommend that you use picture passwords in K-5. They have just secret words ones so that they get something that looks more like a password, but I'm going to do this picture password almost all the time in K-5. It's just a simple way for students to get in. So when I click on it, the students come in, and I can give it, I'm just going to put this Tech20Tuesday. So that's the name of my class. I'm going to make it a grade 2 class, and I can assign a course. You can have a look at these courses, but I'm just going to say for now, I'm going to give them course C. You notice here that there's different versions as well. So the folks at code.org have been developing different sort of looks and some stuff to it. This is going to sound strange, but I'm going to recommend that you go back to 2017 or 2018 if you haven't been involved in coding before. These ones have some more in-depth stuff, but if you want just a basic introduction to coding, I would go back to probably 2017 and choose it. Then there's some other options here. Turn on the extra lessons, so that really isn't going to affect you. Allow students to pair program. There is an opportunity for students, so if you don't have enough devices in your classroom, students can work together in pairs, and so it will keep track of both of their work. There is an automatically read instructions allowed to students, so that will turn it on or off. You want to leave it off, but students can have the sections read to them, or the instructions read to them. They can prompt that themselves. And when they hit save, there we go. So now I've got this Tech20Tuesday, and it's now prompting me to add students. So I'm going to add 3 students. And as soon as I hit add students, it's going to add me. So I can add students individually, but I'm going to add multiple students. So I'm going to say Carm, Wayland, Yvette. So there's my 3 students in my class. If you have 2 students with the same name, you could put an S and a G or whatever, however you normally differentiate them. This is how the students are going to identify themselves. So I'm going to hit done, and now I'm going to hit save all, and there's all of my students in my class. So the one thing, remember I said that they were going to have passwords. So if I go to print login cards, it's going to give me a set of cards that you can print and then cut up, or however way you want to distribute them. So it would have your name on them, and you can print them off. So there's Tech20Tuesday. So this is the class name. This is the key right here. So I'm going to sign in as Carm, TMGZFD. You notice that the whole class has the same section code, but everybody has a different passkey or secret picture that they're going to click on. So this is the real magic to this. And I'm going to come in now as a student and just show what a student might see. So there we go. I'm in here as a student. Now students are going to sign in a slightly different way. So students are going to sign in. And when they hit sign in, the nice thing about this is that they don't have to come over here and create an account or do anything. You've already done the created account. Remember those 6 letters that we just saw, these TMG, ZFD? The whole class uses the same ones. You can write it on the whiteboard and away you go. They put that in, and then it takes them to the platform where they see their name. So I went in as Carm, and I think, if I remember right, Carm was, who was Carm? This guy. So they click on it. Now, if they're sharing a computer with somebody else, if there's 2 of them on there, they're going to hit, I have a partner at my computer. And then they're going to hit, but if they're not, they just hit sign in. Invalid login. I'm going to have to see what Carm was. Carm was, oh, he was the green guy. This guy right here. So there's Carm. I hit sign in and it takes me in. Now, here's the nice thing. It will ask for their age the very first time. And that's the only time it will ask for it. So I'm going to put I'm 10 years old. And now I'm into the course. You know, notice that there's some unplugged activities. You can explore those and you can do those as well offline with kids. So it doesn't require computers. But there's the programming in the maze. So you'll notice that when they hit try now, it's going to take them to a video, which is lesson 2, programming in maze. Each of these videos is going to show them what they're going to be doing and what they're going to be learning. So there is some prompts and some activity for the students. And then when they hit that, they watch the video, or you can watch it as a class. I encourage you to do that. And then they hit continue. It takes them to the next step. So that gives them some simple instructions, some simple teaching on what they're supposed to do. From here, it's really simple. They've got the play platform, the run platform, where the code works. They've got code blocks that they can drag out and move. They've got the code platform where they move things and do this. And the most important part is this part, the instructions. When kids are struggling, this is what they're struggling with. They're not reading the instructions. They go ahead and they see something like this and they say, oh, I got to move some code around and get it to the bird to the pig. But sometimes, and especially later on when things get a little more complicated, it's not quite so simple. So they really need to read the instructions. Here's the nice thing, is that for kids who may struggle with reading or just want that extra support, they can put in a set of headsets and they can have the code.
For this puzzle, drag all of the blocks together and click run to watch it go.
So they can get this to help to read to them, and then they hit run. So I drag the blocks together, hit run. And they hit continue. So the nice thing about this is that it actually tracks the student's progress. So there's so you notice this block or this dot is in dark green. So that's puzzle, or that's platform, or puzzle number 2 in lesson 2. And so it is means that I've completed the puzzle in the fewest amount of code blocks. That's important. So coding has some predicates, and one of them is to use the least amount of code. And so drag an extra move forward block out of the toolbox. And so this is just basically teaching them how to drag and drop and connect things together. The nice thing about it is that they can actually see the code they're writing. Underneath code.org, they're actually writing Java. So here is the Java code that they're writing. They don't even know it, but they can see it and put these together. They hit run. So you can see here that this is a really simple, it gets harder as we move on. It has some more complicated ideas. Here they've got to remove this an extra block. So they've got to remove this one because the bird only can go ahead 1 before he turns. So they've got 2 in here. So I can take this, move this into the garbage can, reconnect this, and make it run. As I said, this can also be done. I'm doing this on a laptop, but it can also be done on an iPad, or even a phone for that matter. So it's really, really simple. Now, here's the nice thing. As a teacher, I'm going to come back here. So I'm looking at my class as a teacher now. Come back to the password or the dashboard, and I can actually see with my courses. There's my course. I'm going to hit students. There's 3 of them there. I'm going to click, those are all hyperlinks. So it opens it up and I can actually see progress. So if I click on progress and go by levels, I can actually see each student and how they're doing with their progress inside of this. Now, I mentioned before that students can see their own progress. If one of these is light green, so right now these are all dark green, perfect, just exactly what we want. They've completed the puzzle, accomplished the task, get the bird to the pig or whatever it is. And there's lots of Minecraft levels and those kinds of things in here too. It's not all about birds and pigs. So there's lots of variety, keeps the kids engaged. But if they see the dark green, they know they've accomplished the task and they've done it in the fewest number of command blocks. If it's light green, it means they've got the bird to the pig, but they've used more than the number of command blocks than they could have used. You notice here it says workspace 1 out of 6. This tells me that I can solve this in 6 blocks or less. So it says move forward, turn right, move forward, turn left, and move forward. Now, part of the real challenge here is the spatial awareness for kids, because they can see this, and sometimes this is to the right, but here they may have to turn to the left because it's how the bird is oriented or the character within the game. So there is some spatial awareness created here as well. And so let's see if I've managed to accomplish this. Yeah. And if you want to see, exactly, so here's the whole thing. If I click on this block right here beside my lesson, you can see that it comes down here. It talks about debugging. It talks about programming in Artist. Now we've introduced loops into the equation. So that's repeat blocks. Then we're introducing events, which are the basis of all video games. So there's all kinds of stuff. And then there's even some digital citizenship stuff in here. So that is, in a nutshell, an introduction, and you can see how easy it is to get your kids involved in coding using code.org. It is simple, simple, simple. And if you are looking for some support, a couple of things. First of all, number 1, our ASD-W digital learning team are here on the screen. You can reach out to any one of these fine folks, and they would love, love, love to help you. And come into your class, help you get this set up, help you introduce it to kids, even with some offline activities. We've got some of those as well. So you're doing some paper-based and other based coding, that you're building algorithms before they even pick up the computer. Secondly, we do have some loaner pods. So if your school doesn't have the techniques or the technical capacity for you, they don't have the devices for you to be able to use, we do have some loaner pods that we can loan out on a short term, 2-3 weeks basis, for you to be able to take those into your class and do a really intensive hit during that short time frame, with or without the support of one of our learning mentors, and introduce coding to your kids on any one of these coding levels. 2 more things I do want to mention. First of all, next week we're going to continue, or next week we won't be here. The week after, we will be looking at some more coding, another coding platform, Scratch. And so feel free to drop by and learn a little bit more how to use Scratch in your K-5 classroom. And one last thing is that for every time that teachers join us in one of these 2 sessions, or one of these sessions over the next 4 weeks, your name will go into a hat. So if you join for multiple sessions, you'll get multiple names in the hat. And at the last session, we're going to draw for a microbit kit for your classroom. So you'll learn about microbits coming up in one of the sessions up ahead. Feel free to come back. We encourage you to come back and have a look. And if you're here live and in person, we will be drawing, your name will go into that draw for a microbit kit at the end of, what is today? February, March, at the end of March is when we'll draw that. So thank you for dropping by. Hope to see you all again in 2 weeks' time. We're going to look at the wonders of Scratch, which is another amazing coding language and a great way for students to learn. That's all for today. I hope to see you again in 2 weeks' time on Tech 20 Tuesday.